see you like this and not like this.
I know, it's taking me a little getting used to also. But...
Hey, what kind of questions he had? Hey, RJ, what are you asking Swish?
How was that for you?
It was weird. Brown threw me off.
Snakes in the grass, gotta cut 'em.
You know, I was doing stuff before I retired, and I created a podcast. I was the first one to ever create a podcast, players talking to players in the middle of a season. And now you kind of see it all over the place. Part of the reason why I was doing this is because I wanted to set myself up for post basketball. I also want to put myself in a position where the next generation look at me and say, hey, I want to be the next Richard Jefferson as far as how he has progressed himself and changed himself and has evolved. Even as a player, you come in as one way, then you grow to something, and then you might change and have to evolve. We used to sit with dinners with, our team back in Cleveland, and we would sit at dinners and we would talk about funny stuff, talk about athletes, tell stories. Everyone would do that. And, podcasts were, popular, but they were coming up, and I was just like, yo, we should do a podcast. So me and Channing, we did one podcast, and the next day we were in our trainer's room. Kyrie comes knocking on the door. And he's like, hey, what are you doing here? It's like, oh, we're about to record a podcast. He's like, oh, really? He's like, I'll sit in. Next thing you know, Kyrie is in it, and we're like, oh, I guess our teammates want to do it. And so we did it. And I think it was like, when you saw the fan reaction and not only in Ohio, but just across the country, we've never heard this before.
Let's go.
I'm excited to have the Hermosa Beach Open AVP winner, Chase Budinger. For the basketball fans, obviously you guys know Chase, drafted by the Houston Rockets, played at University of Arizona, McDonald's All-American, blah, blah, blah. And Chase, just like most athletes, was like, I'm out, I'm gonna go be a professional athlete in another sport.
When you look at, social media, whether it's Twitter or Instagram, I think, players are able to show their personality. I think the fashion that's gone on in the NBA, I think it's important because it shows how an individual can be so different, but then come together with the team. I think that's an important aspect, because sometimes we do get dehumanized. You become a fantasy football guy, right? Where it's like, hey, are you gonna be injured, or should I draft you with my first pick? And it's like, you do have athletes that are commodities. So I think when you can kind of be like, oh, this guy's talking about his family and his kids, and he does the same things. And it's like, yes, we're human beings. That means we have emotions. That means when people say things to us in a certain way, it can affect us. And I think kind of humanizing athletes that are considered somewhat superheroes, like modern day superheroes, I think it's a good thing.
I came up in a very different age where it was like training camps were like hell week. 2 a day every single day for the first week. You might get 1 a day on Wednesday. So it was like, what you would do is you might show up in the camp like 10, 12 pounds heavy. You could literally lose it. Back in the day, you could lose it in 1 week because it was that aggressive. And if you were eating right and doing this stuff. Fast forward, when Chase came into the league, that just wasn't it. As I got older, I started more doing sand workouts, sand volleyball, and then I would just shoot a ton. So I didn't really play basketball the last year or two of my career. I'm obsessed with volleyball. Anytime you're trying to learn something new, there's going to be humbling. And I'm 6'7", still can jump a little bit, long arms, and I can have a guy that's 6'2", block a ball when I'm trying to hit it. There's technique, there's timing. As you get older and your body starts to get banged up, I would come out here and play 3-4 times a week and my legs felt great. Not realizing that when you're playing volleyball and you play for a couple hours every single day, you're really doing a sand workout for 3 straight hours. Yeah, during the lockout, it was me and Chase. Me and Chase were working out.
And Kawhi.
And Kawhi.
We were watching him at San Diego State, and he never really shot the ball. And we're doing workouts, and this dude is just absolutely draining threes after threes after threes, beating us in all the shooting competitions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this guy is
And this came
nice.
after a year where I shot like 40-something from three. We started, me and Chase, who Chase is already in the NBA. I've been in the NBA 10 years. We're shooting with Kawhi, and we're like, I don't know what these people are talking about. Like, this kid can shoot. This kid can, like, and not like make, there's a difference between
And at the
make
time,
shots.
me and you were known as shooters.
Shooters, yeah. So is there a difference between make shots and guys can shoot? So yeah, so me, Chase, and Kawhi were working out during the lockout. Well, during the NBA lockout, when you have 7 months where you don't know what's going to happen, you just can't go into the gym for 3 hours every day, run sprints, when you don't know when the day is going to, when you're going to get the call or if you're going to get a call. I'll be honest, like I struggled with like how to stay in shape. Using things like yoga, Pilates, alternative things that can help kind of break up the monotony of just doing your sport. And I'm not this super yogi, right, where I'm all the time zenned out, but I am an individual that understands like breathing and how important it is. When you're talking about athletics and you're talking about competitiveness, a 1% advantage and just being able to slow yourself down is huge, because we know everything's a microsecond, a micro touch. Those are the things that are important in your competitiveness.
It was actually always a plan of mine to play beach volleyball when I was done with basketball. Because basketball, you only play, if you're lucky, like Rich had a really long career. Like if you play to your 35, like that is a exceptionally long career. I played until I was 29. Okay. And I would say that's a good career.
But I'm saying the average career is 4 years. You played twice as long as the average career.
I often wondered, as I got older, missing out on some championship opportunities when I was younger. It's like, would it mean as much to me as an older player winning a championship if I wasn't a stud, if I wasn't a star? Because I went to the postseason so much as a high level scorer. And then I realized that when you're a guy that's 10 or 11 or 12, you contribute so much to the success of the team based off how you talk to the stars, how you keep them in line, how you hold them responsible. And that was one of the things that it just helped me understand that, everyone contributes to the success of the team, from the first guy to the last guy.
The coolest thing is beach volleyball players could play till they're 42, 44. I mean, some of our best American players right now are in their 40s, which is absolutely amazing, which is really cool to see, but there's no wear and tear on your body, which is really nice.
When I no longer became a starter and no longer became a 20-point scorer, or even a double-digit scorer, when I became just a veteran role player, being able to accept that was not the easiest thing in the world. I played 12 years in the NBA before I ever got a DNP, and that's like a do not play coach's decision. High school, college, NBA, I am now 31 years old before I was ever healthy, not able to play, right? Or the coach just didn't call me in. So that was the first time in my life that it was like this is what it is. So either I can go one way, and there's been lots of guys that retired and moved on, or I was like, hey, I still want to win. I still feel like I can contribute. I just have to change my mindset. And once I accepted that, things were easier. It's not your situation that dictates your success. It's how you handle your situation.
All right, we're out of here.
Yep. No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, perfect. Oh,
that was an hour.
It goes by so fast, dude.
Nonsense.
It goes by fast of nonsense.